And welcome to the Nasboys Sports Podcast. Now, did you know that Josh Allen has had more rushing touchdowns since 2018 than Ezekiel Elliott? He has 25 and Elliott has 24. Watch Ezekiel
Wow.
Elliott get a rushing touchdown and Josh Allen does not, and that will make that fact useless. So,
Overrated.
anyways, welcome to the Nasboys Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Mike Pop Fan 101, with my good friend and co-host Christian, aka C Will.
He's Christian. I'm Cam. We're here on the Sports Podcast. We got a lot of news today, a lot of interesting discussions and topics to get into. But first, I guess we got to talk about the NFL, right?
Correct. So we got some NFL news. Some of it's really interesting. Most of it is a lot of players getting hurt, such as Myles Garrett. He had to be taken to a hospital after being in a car accident after leaving practice. Apparently, the car flipped over. That's really scary. Prayers for Myles Garrett.
Yeah. I don't know what really happened, but from details, it seems like probably he may have been speeding or not paying attention to the road and he went off. So hopefully he's okay. But yeah, car crashes are a real thing. And you gotta be careful when you drive and you gotta, not do anything stupid behind the wheel.
You sound like a dad.
Oh man, but
I
anyway.
mean, don't get me wrong, it's good advice, but the way you said it is just like,
Well, if you are watching the show, which you probably aren't, yeah, that's my advice. But anyways, the Browns did beat my Steelers, unfortunately, but we did get a really cool playoff, y'all. But my Vikings though beat the Lions. What a great accomplishment. But we'll get into more of the scores in a little bit. But what's some of the other news going on in the National Football League?
we got Kenny Galladay might get traded before the trade deadline. Nobody will want him because he's overrated.
Wow, that's kind of harsh.
I'm being honest.
I think he will go somewhere. I don't think he's overrated. I do think that some people hype him up too much and they think he's like a top player, but I don't think he is. But I still feel like he has room to develop. I still feel like he has time to, and I think he can improve as a player.
Well, we do have a superstar, Trent Williams. He is hurt. I think he has a high ankle sprain. He could be out for 4 to 6 weeks. That sucks
Yeah.
for the 49ers. Mac Jones as well has ankle injury. So probably drafting a quarterback was not that dumb of an idea.
True.
We also got Sean Slater. He suffered a ruptured biceps tendon and is expected to miss the rest of the season. That really sucks. Young player, has a lot of potential. Really, really sucks to hear that.
Now, who does he play for? I don't know who he is.
Chargers,
Chargers. Okay. Yeah, the
left tackle for the Chargers.
How did the Chargers get beat like that on Sunday? But anyways, we'll get into more of that in a minute.
We also have the Commanders had a trade in place for Jimmy Garoppolo at one point before it came apparent that he would need shoulder surgery. Glad we do not have him.
Well, there one thing I don't know if y'all mentioned on the last episode, but Trey Lance got hurt for an hour.
Yeah, I think we did, yeah.
Jimmy's now back in at starter. So I feel like Jimmy's definitely. I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. I just think he's overrated, and he's pretty injury prone. So
yeah,
I could see why you wouldn't want him on your favorite team.
yeah, my favorite team.
Well, my thing is, I thought your favorite team was the Panthers, right, Christian?
Actually, yes, they are my favorite team, Cam. That's really cringe.
What is it?
If you couldn't tell, we're joking around.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Bills star safety Micah Hyde is being put on season-ending IR due to a neck injury. Ouch. Bills are still near the top of the AFC. The Dolphins are number one in the AFC, which is very surprising. I knew that they'd get a little better with Tyreek Hill, but I didn't think top of the AFC in week 3.
Yeah, I mean the Dolphins are 3-0. They've had some good starts in the past before too, and then just the rest of the season they found their way. But
That's true.
We will talk more about some of the games in a little bit, but I want to say this. The Bills, how do you lose to the Dolphins on a safety with like 1 minute left in the game? Josh Allen throws for 400 yards, 42 of 63, while Tua only throws for 100 yards and 1 touchdown, and you still lose. And he had possession for 73% of the game. How do you lose?
Right.
Like, what is going on here? I still think the Dolphins aren't going to make the playoffs. What was
Yeah,
that?
we got Browns linebacker Anthony Walker has a season-ending quad injury. Jeez, a lot of season-ending injuries.
Oh, oh.
Malik Willis replaced Ryan Tannehill. While the Titans were down 41-7. Trash.
Oh man.
Oh wait, that was last week. I think that's it. That's it for news.
I was talking to Dalton about the game, or it's like whenever the game was going on. He was just so disappointed. He's a Titans fan, by the way, so he was pretty upset about that loss. But anyways, let's get to some of the scores and some of my takeaways, I guess. The Titans did come back and beat the Raiders. Now, I thought the Raiders would be better this year, considering they got didn't they get Devontae Adams? I may be wrong.
They did.
Yeah, I thought they'd be better offensively. They lose. They're now 0-3. The Chiefs losing to the Colts was definitely a surprise. I know basically what happened with this one was Chris Jones had an unsportsmanlike penalty, and it led to the Colts scoring the game-winning touchdown. So the Chiefs, man, I mean, you can't lose games like that and, want to contend for a title. But then again, this is early in regular season, so nothing to worry about. But
they won't.
One thing I didn't mention, but the Bills' offensive coordinator, did you see his reaction to the end of that game?
I did see that. It's everywhere.
Right. That was literally me when I saw the Panthers and the Giants play. I'm sure y'all. I don't know if y'all have seen my reaction to that game, but here it is. Please no. Please no. Oh, come on. Well, we had that one in the bag, but our defense can't do anything as usual. Bruh. But that was pretty wild. The Vikings beat the Lions. Jared Goff, he threw for 277 yards. But I still, there's a lot of question marks still. There's a lot of teams that are like, why are they doing this good? And there's some that are like, oh, you think they're going to be good? And they just, you know, pretty awful. Exactly. I thought the Saints were going to be better than they were last year, but they're starting off 1-2. My Panthers beat them actually 22-14. Jameis Winston had a really good game with 353 yards, but they still couldn't win. Panthers defense, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very impressed with the Panthers defense right now. I mean, the games they've played, they've basically only allowed field goals, which is pretty good, or just like, very short touchdowns. So I feel like the Panthers defense definitely has improved. The offensive line's still pretty awful. They need to do better and, get in the quarterback, allow the quarterback to get away on scrambles. The Eagles, one of my favorite teams, they beat your Commanders 24-8. They go 3-0. I could see the Eagles going to the playoffs this year and going deep if they keep it up the way they are. And they're really good offensively, of course, with Miles Sanders at the running back. You got Smith, the wide receiver, is really good. And then, of course, Jalen Hurts, he's been playing pretty well.
Don't know how deep they'll go, but I think they will make it to the playoffs. I thought they were a little overrated personally, but they're starting the season 3-0. That's pretty good.
I'm very surprised by the Jaguars being the Chargers, 38-10. Like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
A surprise. Packers Buccaneers was a very defensive game. Packers won that one, so I'm not a huge Tom Brady fan, so I was glad to see the Buccaneers lose. Broncos 49ers, one of the weirdest scores I've seen, 11-10.
Yeah.
Seahawks lost the Falcons. So Seahawks, after going to a impressive start, has lost 2 in a row. Rams beat the Cardinals, but that's basically all the scores going on. I know the Cowboys and Giants are playing on Monday Night Football, so
Yeah, the
yeah,
score is 13-13 with just the fourth quarter has just started at the time of the recording.
yeah. And I feel like, well, the Giants are 2-0, so I'm hoping the Cowboys beat them
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to see the Giants beat the Eagles at top of the NFC East.
I guess I'd rather see the Giants because if I had to root for a different team in the NFC West, I'd probably root for the Giants because screw the Eagles and screw the Cowboys.
Why?
I hate Philadelphia. I hate them. I have an obscene shirt that shows my hatred for Philadelphia, but I will not wear it on this show.
You did wear it on the show. I want to see what it looks
Did
like.
I?
You need to show me what it looks like because you
I
haven't.
will show you off camera. It's funny.
Okay, well, I guess now we can move on
Hey,
to college.
actually, wait. I got one thing. If this video gets 10 likes, I will show my shirt.
Oh boy. Well, we'll see. I don't know if we get censored or not, but we'll see. But I guess now we talk about NFL, right? Or not NFL, college.
College football, yes, correct.
Oh man, my brain's not working. But there's a lot of interesting things with college football. I need to pull up one thing real quick. I need to pull up the rankings from this week that released today. Um, so I'm going to do that real quick. Why is it not loading? Okay. Okay. Well, first with scores, some of the bigger games, Georgia #1, obviously. I thought their defense would do way better against a team like Kent State, but they didn't, allowing 22 points. They only won by 17. So Georgia only won by 17 over Kent State. That's not too good. But Georgia, obviously, right now is #1 team in the country. Alabama destroyed Vanderbilt 55-3. My Wisconsin Badgers lost to Ohio State, which, I wasn't surprised, but I thought the game would be closer. Ohio State beat them 52-21. Your Maryland Terrapins about beat Michigan. Did you see any of that game?
I did not see. I heard the score was like 17-13 at halftime, and I was very surprised by that. And I was very surprised that they kept it relatively close because I thought they were going to get their butts handed to them, but they didn't get their butts handed to them that badly. So I'm actually proud of that.
Yeah, I still feel like Michigan's overrated. I mean, they have a solid team. They're 4-0, but I just don't see Michigan going anywhere. I don't see them making the playoffs, and I feel like eventually they're going to lose to a team that they shouldn't lose to. Um, Now Clemson, I knew that probably one of their toughest teams on schedule, which honestly they don't have a tough schedule as always. Um, they were playing 21 Wake Forest, so I thought the game was going to be close, and it was. It went to 2 overtimes, and Clemson won 51-45. A very, very good game. Uh, and I feel like Clemson's definitely they struggled a little bit last year at the beginning of the year, and
Another
they've gotten
odd
better and better
score.
and better. Yeah, and I mean they have been really good offensively the last couple of weeks. And their quarterback, I don't know how to say his last name. I don't want to screw it up, but Ukalagale or something like that. He had 5 touchdowns at 371 yards. But Oklahoma getting beat by Kansas State. Hey, if you don't know, Kansas State's quarterback, Adrian Martinez, he used to be the quarterback for Nebraska, which Nebraska's been pretty awful the last couple of years. He transferred. But basically, Adrian Martinez helped lead the Kansas State to the upset win over #6 Oklahoma. So Kansas State is ranked now. If I'm correct, they're ranked 25. But I feel like they should be higher because why? If they beat Oklahoma, why is Oklahoma 18? That doesn't make any sense. Come on, committee. USC, they beat Oregon State. Not a very impressive win, only 17-14. USC needs to score more and they need to pad their stats more to, I feel like, to be a top 10 team. Kentucky's definitely really solid team too, but how do you only win by 8 points over Northern Illinois and you're still ranked in the top 10? I don't see how that's possible. Probably one of the best games of the weekend was Arkansas versus Texas A&M. They had a really crazy touchdown at the one of the wildest ones I feel like of the season. If you haven't seen that, here it is.
KJ's going to run it again, diving, fumbles the ball, and Chappelle's got it. Tyreek Chappelle in the right spot as he hands it off to Richardson. Here he goes. Wow! Can you believe this? What a turn! Touchdown in the most unexpected way possible.
But Texas A&M beats Arkansas. Arkansas was number 10. They fall in the rankings back to like 19. Texas A&M 17 now in the standings or in the rankings. Tennessee's now 4-0, and they are actually now in the top 10. They're actually 8th in the rankings, so that's really cool to see. Tennessee has not had a top like 10 team in a long time, so it's pretty cool for them. North Carolina State, they're one of the top ACC teams right now. They're going to be playing Clemson in 2 weeks, so that'll probably be a good game. Penn State's still undefeated. They're really good. Oregon beat Washington State. So cool to see my Ducks win, but probably one of the most I would say I was upset to see App State lose to James Madison because App State's one of my favorite teams. Guess how much Appalachian State was ahead of James Madison and they lost?
20.
They were ahead 28-3 in the second quarter.
Oh yeah, I heard about this. Yeah.
They gave up a touchdown. They had a 93% probability to win in the third quarter, and they still lose, which is very unfortunate. Why are you laughing, Mike? But anyways, App State, that was very unfortunate. You hate to see it. But probably the biggest choke job, and probably one of the someone knocked on the door. I would say the clown of the week in college football would be Missouri. Missouri had the chance to beat Auburn, who is 2-1. But basically, Missouri, they had like a 15-yard field goal to win the game. 15-yard field goal to win the game. They missed it, right? So they go to overtime. And in overtime, they were scoring a touchdown. One of their players drops the ball before they get to the end zone. So Auburn ends up winning on a field goal, 17-14. Man, Auburn's overrated this year. I'm sorry, Dawn, if you're watching this, but they're overrated. Kansas, though, talk about Kansas. They're 4-0. I haven't seen Kansas have this good of a football team in such a long time. So they're really good. But it's sad to see my Michigan State Spartans lose 34-7. But let's look real quick at anything in the standings that's kind of different. I kind of already mentioned some of the standings, but Utah's 12 now. Penn State moved up to 11. Probably one of the biggest drops, of course, was Oklahoma dropping 12 spots. Texas A&M moved up 6. Washington moved up 3 spots to 15. They're 4-0. Ole Miss is 4-0. Wake Forest only dropped 1 spot after loss to Clemson, which makes sense because Wake Forest about beat them. Pittsburgh, they didn't move anywhere. They're 24th. Florida State's actually 23rd. They're 4-0. So Florida State, they haven't really played any tough competition, but for them to be 4-0, considering how they have been the last couple of years, has been surprising. But that's going to wrap up college football.
And now moving on to the NBA, we got Christian Wood will be the 6th man, and JaVale McGee will start at center. Why? Christian Wood is a good basketball player. JaVale McGee is an okay basketball player. Why would you put Christian Wood on the bench? I would request a trade right then and there. Christian Wood is a starting caliber center, especially for Dallas.
That is probably going to – that is so stupid. I'm sorry. Where did you get this news from? Because I'm so – from who?
JPA basketball.
I mean, JPA does have good news, but I feel like sometimes he kind of oversteps, and I think it could be fake because there's still a while before the season starts. But
I mean, I'm not a Dallas fan, so, but even I'm hoping that's cap. I
like,
mean that's got to be cap. There's no way you start JP or not JP JaVale over Christian Wood. That's got to be cap.
yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, like, I mean, Christian Wood I feel like he could have been an all-star, not this past season,
Yeah,
season before.
the
And
season before. Yeah, you're right.
I wish Houston would have kept him, but of course
They're
Houston,
dumb. Houston's got to rebuild because they're trash.
bruh. So is the Wizards, anyways.
The Wizards are better than the Rockets.
Are you
Eat my
sure?
words this
Are you
season.
sure about that? We'll see.
Yes.
We'll see this coming season.
Yes, I am 100% confident the Wizards are going to be better than the Rockets this season.
Oh man, I don't know about that, but
Even if they don't make the playoffs, I'm confident they're better than the Rockets.
oh man, but anyways, well, the way things are going for the Hornets, they may not even be better than those two, but
Yeah, they just signed LiAngelo Ball. That's a good deal, I guess. Off the bench, not bad.
yeah, but I mean, he's a G League player. He hasn't really proven.
Yeah, he played well in the summer league and the G League, so maybe he can translate that to the NBA.
But he's no Miles Bridges.
Nobody's like Miles. Well, not that many players are like Miles Bridges.
There is players like Miles Bridges.
Miles Bridges should be in jail.
Ray Rice. We're not gonna go there. Okay, try not to get canceled episode, but and okay, so next up, I also one thing that I saw that's kind of odd in the NBA, well, not odd, but kind of like surprising is Markel Fultz. He, of course, former number one overall pick. He's had injury problems with his shoulder, but now he suffered a fracture in his toe during a preseason workout and will probably miss the preseason.
Ouch.
And Chris Middleton from the Bucks, he's likely to miss the start of the season with an injury. But probably, but I guess now probably the biggest news of the week, and of course the clown of the week is Ime Udoka. The Celtics was coach ended following misconduct.
Obviously, a difficult time to be speaking to you all.
Oh.
It's a time of concern and reflection and action. We have strong values at the Celtics, and we are doing our very best to uphold them here. As you know, Ime Udoka has been suspended for the upcoming season for breaking team rules. For privacy reasons, I won't be able to offer many additional facts or circumstances around what occurred and why the suspension is in place. I really have to leave you with the wording of our statement, which was admittedly fairly crisp. You might notice I have notes here. I don't think I've ever had notes at a press conference. I enjoy speaking ad lib extemporaneously and letting things
all out.
Really, but in this case, I really have to refer to the notes and stay within the bounds. And I have to break it to you that if you had the notes in front of you, you wouldn't learn all that much. So it's sort of that type of press conference. I'm sorry for that. It's privacy reasons for the people involved is the concern. I can say a few things, and I have a few bullet points to add, and then Brad will have some words. I can say that we, as soon as we learned there was a potential situation, we immediately brought in a respected law firm to conduct a thorough investigation and impartial investigation. And they took some time, and we actually concluded that investigation with a report 2 days ago. So that's the reason for the timing here. There were leaks, by the way, around that time. Obviously, we would have nothing to do with that and nothing to gain from that, and any insinuation about the leaks. We don't know where they come from. They're part of the NBA, as we all know in this room, but it's really unfortunate. And it's unfortunate also that female staff members of the Celtics have been dragged into the public eye unwillingly and inappropriately, and we take a strong stand against that and just regret it for them. It's really, really unfortunate and not necessary. I won't be referring to anybody else who might be involved here, again, for privacy reasons, and not going to get into the details of the conduct at issue. But I have just a couple more closing little remarks. Ime has personally told me in a private conversation, just the general theme was, I'd say, acceptance and appreciation for how this has been handled. He can speak for himself on that. And in his release last night, he did speak to that, that he accepted this suspension. Brad and I have both met with the players. Brad can fill you in more on that, but I would say in general, they are very concerned about this. It's not a welcome development, but they also, I felt, have energy and focus and commitment and drive to really accomplish great things, hopefully this season. So that's the commitment I'm feeling from the players, and that based on last year and based on everything we know about them, I think that commitment will be fulfilled. The suspension is for a season through June 30th, and we will make a determination at a later time about Ime's future with us, and that'll be discussed another time and has not been decided at this point. I am concerned about the situation and its impact on everybody in the Celtics organization. And I do hope this represents the beginning of a new chapter and a chance to turn the page and move forward with things to some extent resolved. And I'm personally very confident in the people we have here, starting with my partner and head of basketball, Brad Stevens.
You know what's weird, Mike? I didn't realize that was my video the whole time playing.
Yeah, I know. I might cut that out. I might not. I don't know, depending on if you'll see it in the video.
I'm going to be honest with you, Mike. I had a page up to kind of make sure I was going to say something.
That's fine. That's fine. It's okay.
And some video was playing of their press conference. I thought that was you playing the video. Oh man, but yeah, not a good situation for the Celtics. I mean, another creep situation.
I don't know what happened exactly. I'm not clear on that. I thought it was a consensual relationship at first, so I don't really know exactly what happened. He has a partner. I just Googled it while the press conference was playing. He has like a girlfriend, I think, and a kid. So he cheated on them. So shame on him. Yeah. And the Celtics are probably going to suck because he's actually a decent coach. So that I like to see the Celtics suck. So we'll see what happens. I thought they were going to go to the finals and potentially win the championship this year, but now it looks like they won't. So cool.
Cut this out the episode, Mike, but they're not the only thing that was sucking. But anyways, if we could bleep that. But anyways, yeah, it's just very unfortunate for them. And I mean, man, you should have known better than that. I mean, it's just a shame. And then of course to see a thing with the Suns owner. I mean, that's just
we talked about that last week.
But
the Suns thing was worse.
Is there anything else in the NBA?
Yeah, Jay Crowder apparently wants to get traded.
Huh.
I think we might have talked about that. I can't remember. But they are going to find a trade for him probably soon. And then we got Keldon Johnson has suffered a dislocated right shoulder. He will miss the start of training camp, but he will return for the season.
How does that happen on a basketball court? He probably got hit or something.
Probably. And then we got CJ McCollum has agreed to a 2-year, $64 million extension. We got Lonzo Ball has to undergo surgery. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a grade 2 left MCL sprain and will miss the start of training camp. A lot of injuries going on in the NBA.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. A lot of big names, too. That's for sure. I know Montrezl Harrell, we mentioned it. Well, he was on the Hornets until he got busted for weed and stuff. But
he's on the 76ers.
Yeah, he's
Look at that.
The 76ers, so another one of my favorite teams.
Wizards should have never traded him. Idiots.
All right, well, I guess we'll get into soccer news real quick for top plays. Before Premier League, actually, when I talk about this, they're not professional, but Did you get to see anything from the Sidemen charity match that was soccer?
No.
But that was pretty wild. That was probably one of the most entertaining like soccer games I've seen. Of course, it was YouTubers soccer match, but of course it was like the Sidemen members versus different YouTubers. There was guys like Mr. Beast was playing in the game. There was Speed, I Show Speed was in the game. There's a bunch of other like big name YouTubers that were involved. Philly, but Nico Milana, the guy that sneaks into boxing rings. I'm sure you've probably seen that guy, but yeah, it was very, very good game. High scoring. It came down to the end, and it was one. I think the final score was like 8-7 or something like that. But a lot of really, really good goals, which probably didn't make the top 10 in this week's episode. But there was one really good goal that, of course, I'll show you, Mike, later. But let's get into the Premier League real quick. Oh man, my computer's about to die. But I was going to mention one guy that I've never really heard much about him. His name's Kevin De Bruyne, I think. But he is on course to produce the most assists in a season in Premier League, in a single Premier League season. And he plays for Manchester City. He currently holds the joint record alongside Arsenal legend Thierry Henry for creating 20 goals back in 2019 and 20. But right now, De Bruyne has 6 assists this season. And he's had 8 big chances created, 25 chances created. And he's just been a really good player for Manchester City. And Manchester City's actually second right now in the Premier League standings, which if you don't know what Premier League is, it's, soccer in the UK. Arsenal is actually number 1, which is crazy because Arsenal had been pretty bad a couple years ago, but of course with their moves and their, I guess, development, they have gone better. They have 18 points right now. They're top of the Premier League. And definitely the Prime sponsorship definitely is another huge thing for them. But Tottenham's third. Manchester United, they had a really bad beginning of the season, but they're actually now 5th in the standings. Chelsea fell down to 7th. Fulham moved up to 6th. Leeds fell down to 11th. MLS, they've had MLS going on. I know a good bit of my friends go to the Charlotte games, but I don't really pay attention to MLS as much as I should. So I haven't done any research or any note taking on that. But I could see Arsenal winning, the regular season, but I still feel like they still have a long ways to go. So anything can happen. And the World Cup's coming up in December, so it's a couple months away. So I'm looking forward to it. But is there any other sports news before we get into the top plays? We also have we also got some sports memes I think I sent into the chat.
The NFL is going to replace the Pro Bowl with challenges and a flag football game. I think that is kind of stupid, but at the same time, the Pro Bowl is not very good, so I don't know what to say about that.
Pro Bowl's numbers have been dropping, to be fair, and no one really cares to watch it anymore. So I get that they're trying to do something different, but do that on Saturday. I mean,
yeah. Let's go with the top 10 plays really quick because we're almost out of time.
We didn't mention this. Brett Favre.
Oh, we're almost out of time.
Favre. What are you doing stealing money, $5 million from people? That is horrible. I don't know if you saw that, but Meme of the Week is the one by Ghetto Grunk on that. Brett Favre seeing the media focus on Udoka instead of him stealing $5 million in welfare from the state of Mississippi. But anyways, he's the clown of the week, Brett Favre is. But let's go ahead and get to the top plays.
Coming in at number 10, Justin Herbert, ridiculous throw.
So he's going to load up and throw down the middle of the field, and it is caught.
I don't know about ridiculous, but even more ridiculous.
Man, ridiculous in a good way.
But at number 9, we got this crazy pump fake.
Went right back to it. A little tap right in front of home plate. Caratini has it and puts an unbelievable arm fake on him, and he tags out Friedel.
In at number 8, we got PJ Locke III, punches the ball out to seal the win for the Broncos.
PJ Locke, the dime. 6 DB, knocked it out.
number 7, we got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. getting it out while doing the splits.
Number 6, we got this Mike Williams insane TD catch.
And number 5, we got Brandon Crawford's barehanded grab.
Number 4, Devontae Smith insane set of catches, not just one; it was an entire set.
At number 3, we got Aaron Judge's incredible 60th home run of the season.
Almost to the milestone, but at number 2, we do got a milestone: Albert Pujols' 700th career home run.
Ooh! But at number 1, we have to have George Pickens from the Steelers' one-handed catch on Thursday Night Football.
Yep. And so with that, that will conclude this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Make sure you guys follow our socials, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
See y'all. Don't steal from people.